Hello, my name is Lewis and welcome to day 6 of Decktober. Today we're looking at the $60 Tovolar Dire Overlord budget deck tech. The Dire Overlord says when a wolf or werewolf deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Once he transforms to the Midnight Scourge, he has the added ability to pay X and Gruul to give target wolf or werewolf plus X plus 0 and trample until end of turn. So this deck is all about transforming the many human werewolves in this deck, playing cards to beef up the other wolves and go aggro and stomp all over your opponents and get the win. Now, let's get right into the budget deck tech. As always, we're starting off with the ramp, and first on up we have Cultivate and Kadama's Reach to search your library for 2 basic lands, putting one onto the battlefield tapped and the other in your hand. We have Arcane Signet to add a mountain or forest, and a Gruul Signet for that classic commander ramp. For some more classic commander ramp, we have Commander Sphere and Mind Stone, both of which you can sack to draw a card. We have Domri, Anarch of Bolas to add a forest or mountain and make your creature spells uncounterable, as well as some beefing and some fighty creature removal. There is more Domri with Chaos Bringer for some more mountain or forest ramp, as well as the chance to search for some creatures. We have some human werewolf ramp in Scorned Villager that when transforms gains vigilance and taps for that extra forest, an Ulvenwald Captain that you can tap for a forest, and when it transforms it becomes a creepy Eldrazi werewolf you can tap for 2 colourless. And finally, we have Sol Ring, because Sol Ring. Before we get on to all those human werewolves, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for all things MTG. It's completely free to do, it helps this channel grow and grow as we head towards 2,000 subscribers. Now we're going to look at all the many human werewolves we've packed into this deck. First up we have Reckless Waif that transforms to the 3/2 Merciless Predator. Next there is Bird Admirer that transforms to Wing Shredder, a 3/5 with reach. We also have Hermit of the Natanols that says whenever an opponent casts a spell during your turn, draw a card, and then drawing 2 to do the same when it transforms to the Lone Wolf of the Natanols. There is Sage of Ancient Lore who ETBs and draws a card, and his power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in your hand, who then transforms to Werewolf of Ancient Hunger and gains Vigilance and Trample. We have Hound Tamer who you can pay to beef up a creature and who transforms to Untamed Pup that gives your other wolves and werewolves trample. There is also Instigator Gang that boosts your attacking creatures by +1/+0, and they transform into Wild Blood Pack who gains trample and gives those attacking creatures +3/+0. We've added in a Tovolar's Huntmaster who ETBs and creates 2 2/2 Green Wolf creature tokens, and Tovolar's Pack Leader to create you more wolves, and that added option to make your strong wolves fight your enemies' weaker creatures. We have Village Watch that transforms into Village Reavers that gives all of your wolves and werewolves haste. There is Kessig Naturalist that when attacks gives you a forest or a mountain that you don't lose until the end of your turn. This then transforms into Lord of the Ulvenwald to give all of your wolves and werewolves +1/+1. We've added in Duskwatch Recruiter to pay 2 in a forest and look at the top 3 cards of your library, reveal a creature and put it into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library. This transforms to Krallenhorde Howler that cheapens the casting cost of your creatures by 1. We have Fangblade Brigand to give your creatures +1/+0 and first strike, who transforms into Fangblade Eviscerator to boost your creatures even more. On to the final 3 we have Village Messenger, a 2/2 with haste who transforms into Moonrise Intruder, a 2/2 with menace. For some removal we have Outland Liberator who you can sack to destroy target artifact or enchantment, who then transforms into Frenzied Trapbreaker that can destroy those artifacts and enchantments when it attacks. Finally we have Reckless Stormseeker to boost a creature and give it haste, who transforms into Storm Charge Slasher that boosts a creature even more, giving it trample and haste. Now let's look at some of the non-transforming wolves and wolf boosting cards, first starting off with Fearless Pup, a 1-drop first strike wolf that can boast, and Lone Wolf, a 2/2 green wolf that is unblockable. We have Pestilent Wolf that you can pay 2 and green to give it Death Touch, and Primal Adversary, a 4/3 with trample that when ETBs you may pay generic and forest any number of times, for each time you pay beefing up Primal Adversary +1/+1 and turning that many lands into 3/3 wolves with haste that are still lands. There is Pyreheart Wolf that when attacks gives each of your creatures menace, and with that added Undying mechanic to bring it back if it died with no counters on. And we have Arlen Voice of the Pack to give our wolves and werewolves entering the battlefield a +1/+1 counter on with a nice -2 to create some more wolves. For one of the best cards in the deck we have Immerwolf, a 2/2 with Intimidate that gives our other werewolves and wolves +1/+1, and non-human werewolves you control can't transform. So if you've got all of those transformed wolves and the game changes from night to day, they will all stay as their increased powered wolf counterparts. And we also have Night Pack Ambusher, a flashy 4/4 wolf that also gives your wolves and werewolves +1/+1, but also creating a 2/2 wolf if you cast no spells on your turn. There is Feed the Pack, an enchantment that says at the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice a creature. If you do, put X 2/2 wolf creature tokens onto the field, where X was destroyed creature's toughness. And Silverfall Partisan that creates a 2/2 wolf token whenever one of our wolves or werewolves are targeted by an instant or sorcery. For some more wolf army creators, we have Raised by Wolves to enchant a creature, putting 2/2 wolves onto the field and boosting enchanted creature by +1/+1 for each wolf you control. And there is Wolfcaller's Howl that on your upkeep creates X 2/2 wolves, where X is the number of opponents with 4 or more cards in their hand. There is Spirit of the Hunt that you can flash in and give all other wolves or werewolves you control +0/+3 until end of turn, great for some surprise protection. And there is Full Moon's Rise to give your werewolves +1/+0 and trample, and you can sacrifice it to regenerate all of your werewolf creatures you control. Potentially that could be huge. For the last 5 we have Howl Pack Resurgence that you can flash in and give each wolf and werewolf you control +1/+1 and trample, with us also adding in Mantle of the Wolf to give enchanted creature +4/+4, and when this card hits the graveyard, you create 2/2 wolf creature tokens. There is Cult of the Waxing Moon that says whenever a permanent you control transforms into a non-human creature, create a 2/2 wolf creature token onto the field. The big game plan with this deck is to try and go as wide as possible with those wolves, beef them up and just bite into our opponent's life total for the victory. So having all of these wolf army boosters will really help us get the job done quick. Finally, we have Wolfear Silverheart, a 4/4 that you can soul bond with another creature to give both of those creatures +4/+4. Before we get onto the land, we're looking at the removal, recursion and the best of the rest in this deck. Starting with those day-night cards, we have Obsessive Astronomer to have you discard up to 2 cards and draw that many cards, whenever it changes from day to night. An Unnatural Moonrise that makes the game become night and until end of turn and gives a creature +1/+0, trample, and draws you a card when that combat damage goes through. That is a lot for a 2 CMC card. We have Moon Silver Key to search your library for a mana ability artifact. Whilst you may want to search for a Soul Ring for the ramp, my advice would be to search for the Celestus, an artifact that you can tap for 1 mana of any colour, but most importantly it's an artifact that can help you control night and day, as well as gaining you life and a chance to discard and draw a card. What an artifact. We have Anger that if it is in our graveyard and we control a mountain, gives all of our creatures haste, and Bellowing Tangleworm to give our big wolf army Intimidate. For some removal we have Prey Upon, a 1-drop sorcery to make a creature you control fight a creature you don't control, and Domri's Ambush to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and have that creature deal damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. We love us some Domri in this deck. There is a Moonlight Hunt to choose a target creature you don't control and have each wolf and werewolf you control deal damage equal to its power to that creature. We also have Moonrager's Slash, a 3 damage pinger that costs 2 less if it's nighttime. We have Regrowth for some graveyard-based recursion, and Goblin Anarchomancer to make each spell that costs red or green cost 1 less. There is Unnatural Growth that at the beginning of combat doubles the power and toughness of each creature you control until the end of turn, and Moon Mist to transform all humans and have a lovely fog effect on your wolves and werewolves until the end of the turn. There is a Waxing Moon to transform 1 werewolf you control and give all of your creatures trample until end of turn, and Overrun to give all of your creatures +3/+3 and trample until end of turn. For more big stompy finishers we have Overwhelming Stampede to give creatures you control trample and +X/+X, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. And finally we have Siege Behemoth that when it is attacking gives all of your other attacking creatures unblockable. That is some big stuff. Finally we have the lands, and as always we're starting with the basics, that in this deck there are 15 forest and 12 mountain. We have our always trusty Command Tower and Path of Ancestry to scry 1 whenever we cast a werewolf. There are more commander staples in Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse to sack and fetch out a basic land, and Cinderglade and Rugged Highlands to give us some nice Gruul flexibility. We've added Access Tunnel and Rogue's Passage as some pay and tap options to make our creatures unblockable, and finally we have Skarg the Rage Pits to boost a creature and give it trample, and Kessig Wolfrun to again boost a creature and give it trample. Tovolar, in my opinion, is the best new commander option from Innistrad Midnight Hunt, and although I say it a lot, this is a deck that I will be making for sure in the very near future. Make sure to check out Decktober Day 7 tomorrow, where we will be again looking at one of the most popular commanders in all of MTG. there we have it. That is the Tovolar $60 budget deck tech. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for all things MTG. Check out our link tree in the description below for all of our social media and affiliate links. For now though, I am all tapped out, so I'll see you in the next video.